The shooting range fell silent as Maya Romani stepped to the firing line. The snickers that had followed her since she arrived suddenly stopped. With her worn-out boots, old jacket, and silver-streaked hair tied in a simple ponytail, she didn't look like she belonged among the fancy equipment and tactical gear around her. "Lady, you sure you know which end the bullet comes out of?" a man called out, causing his friends to laugh. They leaned against the wall, showing off their expensive custom rifles like trophies. One of them recorded with his phone, hoping to catch something embarrassing. Maya didn't answer. She just unzipped her beat-up rifle case, revealing an old M14, a weapon that had seen real war while these men just played soldier on weekends. The range officer gave her a worried look, but she nodded with confidence. She knew exactly what she was doing. The target appeared at 400 yards away. This distance was nearly impossible for a beginner, especially with basic iron sights instead of the high-tech scopes everyone else used. The men behind her tried not to laugh as they watched the silver-haired woman prepare her shot. What they didn't know was that for 16 years, Maya had commanded one of the military's most secret units. Before her hair turned silver, before her name was erased from official records, she had been known as Phantom, the Delta Force commander whose mission still remained classified. She took a deep breath, held it, then released half a breath as her finger pulled the trigger. The rifle fired once. Perfect bullseye. Before anyone could react, she fired again. Another perfect hit. Then again and again, each shot hitting the center with impossible accuracy. The filming stopped. The laughter died. Confusion replaced mockery on the faces of the men who had been so sure of her failure just moments ago. "What the hell?" muttered one of them. Maya asked for a moving target next. The range officer, now curious, set up a challenging sequence, a small target moving randomly across the field. She tracked it calmly, then fired 3 times quickly. 3 hits, all dead center. From the viewing area above, a man in an expensive suit watched with narrowing eyes. James Keller, CEO of NextGen Defense Technologies, felt an uncomfortable sense of recognition. Something about her stance, the way she handled the weapon with such natural ease, it stirred memories he'd rather keep buried. "Find out who she is," he whispered to his assistant. Maya finished her session without acknowledging the shocked silence around her. She packed up her rifle carefully, nodded to the range officer, and turned to leave. "Wait," called one of the men who had mocked her. "Who are you?" She paused, thinking about whether to answer. "Just someone who learned to shoot a long time ago." Behind her calm face, Maya was fighting a different battle. She hadn't planned to draw attention to herself. She was here for her niece Zara, a journalist investigating how veterans were treated in civilian spaces. But her training was too deep, and she couldn't bring herself to deliberately miss shots. As she walked to the parking lot, Zara caught up with her, eyes wide with questions. "Aunt Maya, that was amazing. Where did you learn to shoot like that?" Maya placed her rifle case in the trunk. "Later," she said quietly. "We're being watched." A black SUV waited nearby, its dark windows hiding whoever sat inside. Maya recognized the tactics: surveillance, information gathering. Someone had recognized her, or at least suspected who she might be. "Get in the car," she told Zara. "We need to go." Back at Maya's small cabin, Zara couldn't hold back her questions any longer. "You told me you worked in logistics in the army? That wasn't logistics training I saw today." Maya sighed, checking the windows before sitting down. "I did work logistics, officially. Everything else was classified." "Classified how?" Zara pushed. "Delta Force," Maya said finally. "I commanded a specialized unit for 16 years. Zara's mouth dropped open. "You were Delta? But I thought that women couldn't serve in special operations back then?" "Officially we couldn't. Unofficially there were exceptions for those with special skills." Maya pulled out an old metal box from under a floorboard. Inside was a collection of faded photographs and medals that had never been publicly awarded. She showed Zara a photo, younger Maya standing with 4 men, faces blurred except hers. "Operation Shadowfall. Kandahar, 2005. We rescued 37 hostages without firing a single shot." She pointed to another photo. "Mosul, 2008. That one didn't go as smoothly." Zara studied her aunt with new eyes. "Why did you leave?" Maya's expression hardened. "A mission in Yemen, 2010. Intelligence said a compound held enemy fighters planning an attack. When we arrived, I discovered it was actually civilians, families. My commanding officer ordered us to kill everyone anyway, to cover up the intelligence failure." "What did you do?" "I refused. Got the civilians out instead. They discharged me for medical reasons after that, buried everything I'd done under security classifications. She touched her silver hair. The stress turned my hair white within a year. A notification sounded on Zara's phone, an alert from a journalist friend. Someone had uploaded a video of Maya's shooting demonstration. It was going viral with the caption, "Grandma outguns pros with antique rifle." "You're trending," Zara said, showing her the screen. Maya frowned. "That complicates things." "What?" "It's just a video of good shooting." "Because James Keller was there today." I recognized him. "The defense contractor?" "He was CIA liaison during the Yemen operation. He gave the order to kill and falsified the intelligence." "If he recognized me?" A car engine rumbled outside. Maya was on her feet instantly, looking through the blinds. "The SUV from the range," she confirmed. "They found us faster than I expected." James Keller paced his office, phone pressed to his ear. "I don't care what it takes. Find out everything about her. If it's Romani, we have a serious problem." His assistant entered with a tablet. "Sir, facial recognition confirms it. It's Maya Romani. Discharged in 2010, currently living off-grid. Her niece is a journalist for the Truth Line." Keller slammed his fist on the desk. "Damn it. Do you know what happens if she talks? If she has evidence from Yemen?" He took a breath, calming himself. "We need to contain this. The Helix X demonstration is tomorrow. We can't let anything disrupt it." The Helix X was NextGen's new AI-powered combat system, a billion-dollar project with Pentagon backing. Any scandal could destroy the deal and Keller's carefully built empire. "What about the niece's angle?" his assistant asked. "Probably gathering material for a hit piece." Keller thought for a moment. "We need leverage. Bring the niece in. Maya will follow." Maya sensed the attack coming seconds before it happened. She pushed Zara down just as the window shattered. "Basement now," she commanded, her voice changing to the tone that had once directed elite soldiers. They barely made it down the stairs before the front door crashed open. Maya grabbed her emergency bag, always packed, always ready, and led Zara through a hidden tunnel that ran from the basement to the forest behind the property. "Stay low, move fast," Maya instructed as they emerged among the trees. Gunshots echoed behind them. Not killing shots, warning fire meant to scare them. "They don't want me dead," Maya realized. "They want me silent." They reached Maya's backup vehicle, an ordinary truck parked a mile away for emergencies. As they drove away, Zara's phone buzzed with a message. The color drained from her face as she read it. "What is it?" Maya asked. "It's from my editor." Zara's voice shook. "He says armed men stormed our office looking for my research on veteran treatment. They took my colleague Thomas hostage." Maya's knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. Keller's raising the stakes. "What do we do?" "We fight back the only way we can, with the truth." Maya made a sharp turn, heading toward the city. "Keller's demonstrating the Helix X system tomorrow at the Defense Innovation Showcase. Every major military contractor and news outlet will be there." "You want to go public? After staying hidden for years?" Maya nodded grimly. "I still have the original mission recordings from Yemen. Keller doesn't know I kept a copy when I went off-grid. Won't they stop us at the door? Security must be tight." A hint of a smile crossed Maya's face. "I broke into enemy territory for 2 decades, Zara. A corporate event is child's play." The Defense Innovation Showcase was busy with activity. Military officials, investors, and reporters gathered around displays of next-generation technology. At the center stood an impressive stage where the Helix X system waited under dramatic lighting. James Keller moved through the crowd, shaking hands and smiling confidently. In 2 hours, he would show how his AI weapon system could outperform any human operator. The system had cost billions to develop, but the defense contracts it would secure would be worth hundreds of billions more. His phone vibrated. "Sir," his head of security reported, "we've lost track of Romani." The cabin was empty. Keller kept his smile while hissing into the phone. "Find her. And make sure the journalist is secure. We have her colleague but not the niece." Keller ended the call, his confident face slipping for a moment. He scanned the growing crowd, suddenly feeling exposed. At that moment, across the venue, Maya and Zara were already inside. They had entered through a service entrance, using fake IDs Maya had created with practiced skill. Zara wore press identification, while Maya was dressed as security personnel. "The main system is there," Maya pointed to a control booth overlooking the main floor. "I need 5 minutes to upload the Yemen files to their network." "What about Thomas?" "One problem at a time. First we expose Keller. Then we find Thomas. They separated, with Zara mixing with journalists while Maya made her way toward the control booth. Years of training had taught her how to move without attracting attention, how to blend into any environment. She was halfway to the booth when she locked eyes with Keller across the room. For a moment, time seemed to freeze as recognition dawned on his face. Keller immediately began pushing through the crowd toward her, speaking urgently into his earpiece. Security personnel throughout the venue suddenly became alert, hands moving to weapons. Maya abandoned subtlety. She sprinted toward the control booth, jumping over a display table as security converged on her. Alarmed shouts rose from the crowd. Zara, seeing the commotion, quickly connected to the venue's Wi-Fi and prepared to live stream whatever happened next. Maya reached the booth, knocked out the technician with a precise strike and locked the door. Through the glass, she could see Keller and his security team running toward her. She had seconds, not minutes. She plugged a small drive into the main console and began uploading the files. Unaltered mission recordings from Yemen showing Keller's direct orders to kill civilians, followed by her refusal and the subsequent cover-up. Outside, Keller reached the booth door, face twisted with rage. "Open this door immediately," he shouted. Maya looked him directly in the eyes as she pressed the final key. "Too late, James. The truth is already out." On every screen in the venue the footage began to play. Crystal clear audio of Keller ordering the killing of known civilians. Proof of falsified intelligence reports. Maya's voice refusing the order, stating clearly that the targets were innocent families. The crowd fell silent, all eyes fixed on the screens. Military officials stared in horror. Journalists frantically captured every moment. Keller backed away from the door, his career crumbling before his eyes. Maya's voice came through the venue speakers. 15 years ago, I was ordered to kill innocent people to cover up an intelligence failure. I refused and was erased from service. Today I'm setting the record straight." Security forces, now unsure who they should be arresting, hesitated. Some moved toward Keller rather than Maya. Zara's live stream captured everything, including the moment military police approached Keller and began reading him his rights. Charges would include conspiracy, attempted murder, falsification of military intelligence, and war crimes. 3 months later, Maya stood at the same shooting range where it all began. The place looked different now. She had purchased it with money from a government settlement and transformed it into a training center for veterans. Zara stood beside her, no longer just a journalist but the center's media director. Thomas, rescued during Keller's arrest, worked with them developing programs for veterans struggling with the transition to civilian life. "Ready for the opening ceremony?" Zara asked. Maya looked at the gathered crowd, veterans, active service members, and press. No more mockery, only respect in their eyes. "I spent years hiding who I was," Maya said quietly. "It feels strange to stand in the open." The investigation into the Yemen incident had revealed other covered-up operations. Several of Maya's former teammates had come forward with their own stories. The military had officially restored her rank and honors, acknowledging the wrongful discharge. Maya stepped to the podium, her silver hair catching the sunlight. Where once it had seemed a mark of trauma, now it felt like a badge of honor. She looked out at the faces watching her, some curious, others admiring, all attentive. "Welcome to the Romani Veterans Center," she began. "A place where no one will ever be judged by their appearance, their age, or their past. Only by their character and their actions." Behind her hung a simple plaque with words that had guided her through the darkest times. "Courage is not measured by the battles you win, but by the principles you refuse to surrender." The same principles that had cost her career had ultimately vindicated her. And now they would help other veterans find their way forward. As applause rose around her, Maya finally felt the weight of secrecy lift from her shoulders. No longer hiding, no longer silent, at last she could be the leader she had always been. The story of the silver-haired woman at the shooting range had started with mockery but ended with justice. And in the process, it had reminded the world that heroes don't always look the way we expect them to. Sometimes they're just quiet people standing up for what's right no matter the cost.